Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin Mari here today with another Action Taimanin video. So, for today, I want to kind of get back to you guys on some comments I have been seeing lately. With the build videos I've been putting out, people have started to ask, why don't I ever do builds for Sakura? Why don't I ever play her? Well, full disclosure, this was actually my very first main in Action Taimanin. So, basically what ended up happening with her is I got into her, I brought all these skins for her. Like, I don't have every skin for her, but I have, like, a good bit. Like, I put gems into her, because I was like, yeah, Sakura's bae, she's best girl. And then she ended up, like, just kind of sucking later. And it kind of became that character that you started with that you feel like you chose wrong, and you slowly start to resent them. So that's pretty much why I never play her. There's a lot of technical reasons, too, which I'll get into in the video. But that's pretty much what really, like, disenfranchised me to her all around, is just I invested in her and she didn't do as great as other characters that I invested in later, so she kind of just got abandoned. So, what I want to do today is rectify that. We're just going to do a quick daily run. I'm going to show you her gameplay, share the build with you, and then we'll talk about what's potentially coming in the update and what is coming in the update. So, we'll go dailies. Gonna come here, do a ×5 run, play some Sakura. So yeah, like, there's just a couple things with her playstyle that really bug me. I'll go into them now that I actually have her playing here. So the first thing is this, you see how close I have to be? I have to be insanely close for her basic attacks, which I don't like. The other thing is her spin. So, while it shreds these daily type enemies, it doesn't really do enough damage anywhere else, like compared to other characters like Emily's axe. So that's like another thing. It's the T-Rex arms, it's the long cooldown on her spin as well. Like, and the fact I can get knocked out of it. Like, I did it on purpose there so you guys could see, like, this skill needs some hyper armor because it's her best means of damage. Now I'm just sticking around waiting for the cooldown. So, that's another problem. Now that it's off cooldown, I can do it, and now I have to wait 12 seconds. The base cooldown on the skill is 15 seconds, by the way. I don't know why Onigumo missed him, he was right in front of me. Now when it's just her and like one enemy, her basics are cool, like they can stun and lock down. But if there's a swarm there, just don't basic attack. What I want to do here is I want to kill everything but the boss. Oh my god, I hate this character so much. I want you dead, you scrub. I hate. Why does this game attack? I'm like aiming for this gorilla. Please, I want you guys dead so I can show them her stupid combo. Oh my god, Sakura, you're terrible. Okay, so he has defense down. So what you would do with her is simply shuriken and then spin, and then that buffs from Micah. But you saw how the spin did like drastically more damage there. That was because he was debuffed and it activated Micah's buff. So I wanted to show you guys that combo. It's really good for single target, but kind of for crowds. Anyway, I played bad on purpose. That's Sakura. So, again, like her attack range is just dirt. You're kind of stuck relying on your spin, which is just like, it bugs me. The spin could be so much better. If they just simply buffed the spin damage-wise and gave it a little bit of hyper armor so she can't get knocked out of it, it would be a way better skill. Because it's her most damaging skill, it's kind of like you just simply wait on it. And yeah, you can like throw your Shadow Fling and you can do your Shadow Spin, but they just really pale in comparison damage-wise. They're just kind of like filler abilities while you wait for spin. And I don't really like that playstyle. I don't like one-button characters. Like, The difference between Emily and Sakura is Emily uses her axe as her main skill, but all of her skills are good and can complement each other. Sakura really doesn't have that sort of synergy. She doesn't feel like a cohesive character. So that's my issue with her. Now, as far as the build, we're running Garou Kiba. I gave her all red Magatama with increased damage dealt to all enemies, just to give her spin as much damage as possible. For the sidearm, you just kind of run the strongest weapon you can get your hands on. For me, it's an S level 2 Phantom Knife. For skills, we're running the Shadow Cleave because spin is her most damaging ability. We're running Shadow Spin just because it goes well in the blue build, and porting and hitting for a decent amount and healing is never bad. This skill I wouldn't take in the PvP. If you were going to run in PvP, I would remove Shadow Spin for Shadow Shark or Dual Edge Flurry. I prefer Shadow Shark because if she actually gets the launcher in PvP, it does great damage, and it doesn't require her to do a full basic attack combo, because let's face it, she has issues doing that, especially in PvP. Finally, we're running Shadow Fling because it easily spreads a defense. I'm sorry, it easily spreads a damage down debuff, and it homes in, so it's good in any game mode because it's just a skill that simply won't miss, because these shurikens track. So next we're going to look at her supporters. Of course, we're running Onigumo main. Now, if you don't have an Onigumo, you could simply just take and put Micah in the main slot, because Sakura debuffs a lot. She has a lot of abilities that will keep Micah's damage buff online, making her spin hit harder, which will rectify the damage issue. Then it would just be up to you to not get hit during the spin so you don't get knocked out of it. On top of it, Micah's ability does proc her own passive. So if you just make Micah the main, you're pretty much going to have a 32% damage buff on anything that's debuffed. And since Sakura debuffs really easily with her Shuriken and her Garou Kiba, that won't be a problem. So people who don't have Onigumo, just make Micah the main. If you make Micah the main, simply throw on your Nana Seimai in the second slot for the damage reduction. And for the final slot, I am using Fuyumi. But again, if you don't have a Fuyumi, you could simply run Haru in the final slot to reduce the cooldown on Micah, so that she can proc her passive more with her active ability, and you can have a good time. So Sakura really synergizes well with Micah, so in this case Micah's not bad, but I feel like it's the only character that she really does that for. Outside of like this build, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to say she's bad because it might be coming off like that way. She's not a bad character. She's an okay character. Like, if I were to do like a tier list for Action Taimanin and like place everyone, I would put Sakura like dead center, like literally dead center. She's in the middle. She's Malcolm in the middle. She's just okay. So, as I said, if they just simply buffed her spin, damage-wise, she'd be great. The reason I think they should buff her spin is because we have idiots like Renko throwing meteors for 100k plus, and we have idiots like Emily throwing axes for 200k plus. So if they're allowed to have all this damage, I don't see why you can't just say screw it and give Sakura spin a little more damage. Since the skill in nature is single target, it should hit harder than AoE skills like meteor and axe, because it should specialize in blowing one thing up. Because what the skill does is it hits an enemy and then it ports to the next enemy. If the enemies are clumped, it can hit more than one enemy, but the range is so small on Sakura that that's just unlikely to happen unless you really time it while the enemies are like having a circle jerk. Outside of buffing the damage on spin, if they just simply gave it some hyper armor so that she didn't get knocked out of it so easily by various enemy types, then I'd say we'd be in business and she'd be a great character, or at least above average. So, that's the Sakura build. That's my rant on Sakura and why I don't play her. As far as Sakura, we're going to focus on her for the new event coming tomorrow, and we'll make her the character that we put out a build for. We'll see if we can get a counter build going for the event boss, like I've been doing with Shiranui. So, since Shiranui's been getting a lot of love, we'll share some of that love with Sakura, and I'll probably show you guys various characters within the means of what I have for this event. Also, some people have been asking about an Usagi build. Yeah, I may do another vid for her, but her build hasn't really changed from the videos that I've already done. So there's really no reason to like keep showcasing her, but I'll show some event gameplay with her as well for the coming event. So moving on from the character screen. The new event will be Letitia, the UFS supporter. I do not know what she does, guys. I have no idea. So I'm going to be surprised along with you guys tomorrow as far as her ability. So with that being said, new event coming, which means more gems, which is great. It also means that this event is leaving. So make sure that you have at least through box 9 done. That means you Kool-Aid, because I saw that you said you waited to the last minute. Shame on you. Get the event done. It's free weapons for Sue, man. So anyway, yes. Kool-Aid and everyone else who procrastinates, make sure you get this event done through box 9. Outside of this event, make sure that you have your gyms ready because Oboro will be being thrown into the store tomorrow for gyms. So I totally like didn't realize, but yeah, it kind of crept up on us. Oboro will be coming out for free to play tomorrow as well. So get your gyms ready for her. Get ready for the new event. And as far as the gacha, we have one more week of Asuka and one more week of Oboro. So if you wanted any of this stuff at an up rate, make sure you're pulling. The only other thing I want to talk about or speculate is it's been a while since Chapter 11 released, so I don't think they're going to release Chapter 12 tomorrow. If they do, it's going to be a surprise because they haven't said anything. But expect Chapter 12 within the next week or so, as far as next week or the week after, because it's been a while since we had a new chapter, so there's definitely going to be a new story chapter incoming. So yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to be able to get gems from the event. We're going to be able to get Oboro 4 gems, so we're going to get gems from the event and then immediately spin them and feel bad, but hey, at least we're getting a new character for free to plays. Outside of all of that, if you guys found the video helpful or informative, please like and subscribe because it helps me on my mission to becoming a full-time YouTuber. I appreciate all the supports thus far, guys. And you guys go ahead and you have a great rest of your day. Have good luck in your gotchas and in the arena. Make sure that you get your dispatches ready, make sure that your facilities are all set, and make sure you dump your AP and your BP, as well as getting your special mode done before maintenance tonight, so that your timers are all refreshing while you're not able to play the game. And you guys go ahead and take care. I'll catch you all tomorrow with my event overview.